guys, it's Sarah. In case you can't tell, I'm a little extra excited today. Today is a very special video. I have joined up with the Disney Damsels, one of my favorite YouTube channels of all time, and we are doing a special collab video. The Disney Damsels are a fantastic little duet. It's Mina and Rowan, and they're so sweet and genuine, and their channel is just so great. They are absolutely one of my favorite channels. This is so exciting, no, seriously. I can't handle it. I've been talking a lot with Rowan, and I kind of reached out to her and was like, hey, on a previous video you asked for some suggestions on video ideas, and I have this idea where maybe I could create a craft and then you guys could replicate it on your channel. And she was like, oh, I love that idea. I just don't want to mess it up. And I was like, for one, you can't mess it up. We will pick something that you can totally do. I believe in you. You can do it. So she actually asked if I could make some sort of Nightmare Before Christmas inspired wreaths to hang on the wall. And I was like, okay, yeah. And so I knew she had her heart set on Jack and Sally, so that's what we agreed on. So I made these awesome, just adorable Jack and Sally wreaths. This video is going to walk you through how to make the Jack wreath, and then if you want to see the Sally wreath, that video is also being posted at the same time as this one, so that you can pick and choose which one you want to watch, hopefully both. And then you can pop over to the Disney Damsels channel and watch them recreated on their channel. So this is the Jack wreath. It's so cute. This was super simple and really affordable. Now, of course, you could make this bigger. It's just going to make the price a little bit more expensive, but I really tried to pick things from Dollar Tree or from the dollar section at Michael's to help with cost. So this is the Jack one, and if you guys want to see this tutorial, then just stay tuned. I do want to show you the Sally wreath just because, I mean, if you're going to see the Jack one, you have to see the Sally one. Ah! Hello, Sally. Isn't it cute? Oh my goodness. I feel that you need both because, one, they are a little bit small, but hung together they take up a good amount of wall space, and two, how can you have Jack without Sally or Sally without Jack? You need them both. Let's be real, guys. Make sure you check out her tutorial as well so you can learn how to make both of them. But without further ado, let's get into the Jack tutorial, and don't forget to check out the Disney Damsels video of this as well. I will link them in the description box below. For this project, you're going to need a foam wreath form. I got mine from Dollar Tree. Some hot glue sticks. You're going to need a white round sphere. I got this eyeball in the Halloween section at Michael's. Some puffy paint that's black. A hot glue gun. A bread knife. You actually won't need that. T-pins. White felt and black felt. White yarn and black yarn. And then I also ended up needing these wire cutters. So let me explain why you don't need the bread knife. I've cut foam wreath forms before, but the ones from Dollar Tree are a little bit more plastic than foam. So I went to cut it, it was extremely difficult, and then lo and behold, right as I'm making some traction, it just cracks. So I went and picked up a new one and began the next step. So I lay down a line of hot glue and press down some of the yarn into the hot glue. The easiest way to wrap this yarn conveniently is to keep your yarn roll really tight as you wrap it. The longer that thread gets as you're wrapping, the longer it takes to wrap around the wreath. The white is a little bit more challenging because it is easier to see the green underneath the yarn, so you will have to kind of double layer it and crisscross it a little bit just to make sure none of that green is poking out. After you've got it to the width that you like, go ahead and snip off the excess, and you're going to just hot glue that little nub down and conceal it within the rest of the yarn. Then you will continue this in a black and white stripe pattern around the wreath. This part is very time consuming, just stay patient, and now I'm going to show you a zoomed in version. So again, lay down a stripe of hot glue, press down your yarn, and then you're just going to go in and out through the hole, wrapping the yarn around. This is very tedious, but at the same time, it's pretty simple. So if you can just stay patient and, you know, talk to a friend while you're doing it, watch a TV show, you'll be okay. And it is totally worth it. These came out so adorable. So same thing, once you've got that to the width that you like, add a little bit of hot glue and press down what's left. So you're going to end up with some kind of gross hot glue spots on the back, but that's okay because no one's going to see that. So then just continue all around the wreath until you have black, white all the way around. So now you're going to take your little eyeball, and this is going to be Jack's head. So I went ahead and cut off the bottom of that wire, but left a little bit on so that I can literally just shove this down into the wreath. I used a photo for reference, and then I went in with a pencil and traced Jack's face. Take your time with this. Using a pencil, you'll be able to erase any of the lines you make as long as you don't press down too hard with your pencil. Luckily, Jack's face is relatively simple. I would say the eyes are the hardest part. If you do mess up, don't stress out, just erase it and try again. So now that you've got it all traced out, you're going to go in with your black puffy paint and just follow the lines that you made. Again, take your time, go slow, enjoy this wonderful crafting moment. Go ahead and fill in the eye. The key to puffy paint, I have learned, is control. If you want to practice on a piece of paper, maybe trace the face out on the paper first and then go in with the puffy paint, and you can kind of learn how tight to squeeze the bottle. I know that sounds crazy, but the last thing you want is like this little puffy paint explosion after you are almost done. If your puffy paint bottle seems a little bit clogged, absolutely test it out on a paper towel first so that it does not just like squirt out all over your work. And now you're done with his face. He's so cute. Okay, so now for the bow tie. So I used the head just to get the scale kind of, and then I started with the little bat, I'm going to call it a bat, for his bow tie. It's kind of like a bat, right? I traced out the head, but I folded the felt in half so that it would be a little more symmetrical. I wish I had more of a guide. You know what? No, I'm going to make a template for you guys for this bow tie so that it's a little bit easier. It'll be in the description box below. So anyway, cut out the head, and then I went ahead and traced the wings, and again I folded my felt so that I would get two identical pieces. Just take your time on this, and then when you're cutting out each of these little, I don't know what to call those, like the parts that stick out on the wing, you don't necessarily have to cut like an opening. You can just cut down and then turn your scissors and go the opposite direction. Does that make sense? I don't know. But yeah, the template will be in the description box below. And now you have your little bat bow tie. So now in my reference photo, I noticed that it has like white eyes, so I just did two little squirts there. And then it had like these kind of white stripes on it. So I did these little dashes at first, but I actually didn't like the way that they looked. So I went in and connected some of them because truthfully in the photo I was using, they were longer lines. And once I did that, it looked a lot better. So learn from my mistakes. Longer lines look better. And again, puffy paint's all about control. Don't go crazy. So now I'm just going in on the second piece of the bow tie and doing the same kind of pattern. They do not need to be identical. They just need to go together. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to make some felt flowers to decorate your wreath even more. So for the first one, it's kind of like a rose. You're going to trace a circle. I used just an old CD disc I had lying around. And then I placed my white felt on top of my black felt evenly. And this way you can just go in and cut both circles at the same time. So go ahead and cut out both circles. And then you're going to cut a swirl pattern into it. So starting on one edge, just slowly start inching your way toward the center of your circle, creating a swirl. And as you get closer to the center, be really careful, and then you're going to end up with kind of this little nub in the middle. So now you're going to take it and you're going to fold it to create kind of like a bowl like this. So first hot glue the white and the black centers together, and then take some hot glue, place it on the back of the black one and press it down. Now you're going to begin rolling it to make kind of a little rose. As you're rolling it, you can start to apply hot glue. The closer you get to the outside, you will need to go layer by layer, so you'll apply hot glue to the white part and then the black part. And then just keep applying hot glue and rolling it as you go. Okay, I'm going to speed this up a little bit for you guys. So now I've separated the black and the white, and I'm going one layer on at a time on those. If it does start to shift, if your center starts to pop out or something like that, it's okay. Just gently press it back down, and then you can go and reinforce it with some hot glue when you're done. So snip off any excess that you don't need, and then hot glue down the edges, and you're all done with your little rose. So now I'm going in and reinforcing mine, and then because I want to make this wreath multifunctional, meaning it will also function at Christmas time, I'm going to glue the T-pins onto the rose. I did end up gluing 2 of them just to be a little more secure, so just glue down 2 T-pins. Alright, so then the next type of flower we're going to make, you're going to need 2 strips of felt, one white, one black, about 2 inches wide. Then you're going to lay down a line of hot glue and fold over your felt to create kind of like a tube. Do the same thing with the black. And then you're going to hot glue these 2 tubes together. You want to make sure the openings for the tubes are both on the top. So go ahead and glue those down, and let me show you what it should look like from the side. So now you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut snips into these tubes together. Make your snips pretty far down, but don't cut all the way through the felt, obviously. And then you're going to take it and start rolling it, and every little bit you roll, do a line of hot glue and press firmly down. As you're rolling, make sure you're securing the center of the flower with your fingers or with the palm of your hand, just to make sure that it doesn't all pop out. Keep going until you get to the very end, and then hold it there for a few seconds while it completely dries. And now you have a cute little flower. So same thing, because I'm going to want to change these out at Christmas time, I'm going to take a T-pin, add some hot glue to it, and then shove it into the flower. Again, use 2 T-pins, not 1. So now I'm going to take Jack and I'm going to place him into my wreath. So I'm just parting this yarn to where I can see the green foam underneath, and then I'm just shoving this guy in there. You could hot glue him down, but I'm not going to, because at Christmas time I think I'm going to change his face out for Happy Jack. So now I'm taking the bow tie and just making sure I sized it out right. And now I'm going to attach all 3 of these pieces together. So add a little bit of hot glue, attach the 2 sides together where they're centered nicely. And then go ahead and take the head, hot glue the head down. And then I am going to take a T-pin and glue it on the back. Again, you could hot glue this directly to the wreath, but I want mine to function differently at Christmas. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down that T-pin. Mine did end up tilting up a little bit, but that ended up working really nicely for how I wanted to place it. After it's all dried, shove the T-pin into the wreath, and now Jack has his bow tie. So now I'm going to take the flowers and begin placing those on the wreath as well. I ended up making 2 of the non-rose flowers, and then I ended up making a 3rd one that was all white to finish it off. And you can do as many of these as you want in any kind. Okay, so to hang the wreath, flip the wreath over on the back, and then you're going to cut a short piece of white yarn or black yarn, and you're just going to hot glue it to the back of the wreath. So I just laid down a line of hot glue, pressed down the yarn on one side, and then did the same on the other side to create kind of like a loop. Alright, so now let me show you how to make it Christmassy. So I had this little Santa hat. Honestly, I'll probably get a different one that's a little bit smaller. But I took off his bow tie and I made him this little felt Santa beard. And same thing, glued a T-pin on the back, and then you can just shove it in. And then at Christmas time, I'll probably put a little Santa hat on him, and then I'm going to remove these flowers. And I glued T-pins on the back of some little Dollar Tree ornaments I had and just pressed them down into the wreath. You could also do this with mistletoe or holly, even little poinsettias or something like that. The possibilities are endless. I'll probably post something on Instagram when it's Christmas time. I hope you guys liked this tutorial, and stick around to watch my Sally tutorial as well, because of course they have to go together. Don't forget to check out the Disney Damsels video where they recreate these, and please subscribe if you haven't. See you in my next video. Bye!